I'm doing a sketchbook tour. I've put this off for maybe a year. I finished it about a year ago, but there's 2 pages in here, literally 2 pages that are not 100% done, and that made me put off doing a sketchbook tour because I was determined to finish it entirely. It is finished. It's fine. I've gotten past that. This is the Handbook Journal Co., I believe, watercolor sketchbook. I got it to do the 100 head challenge because I was feeling very disconnected from art, and I hadn't done any drawing or painting or sketching that I liked in many years, and it used to be and still is very important to me, and I wanted to kind of use this as a place to practice because I was feeling like everything in my head would not translate onto a page properly, and I just needed to practice proportions and looking at references, literally for anything, not even just people, but just references in general, so that I could, you know, work on the visual to hand synchronization, I guess. I don't know. So that's what this one is. It is primarily from references from Pinterest, and I know some people have issues with using references from Pinterest, but this was just for practice. It's just for fun. I'm not selling any of these. I'm not going to be using any of these for anything other than exactly this and practice. So first I'll do a little sticker. There's a lot of stickers. Those are both obviously quite clear. I have a whole bunch of fruit and vegetable stickers. This is from a dishcloth that a friend got me, and this was on the package and I really liked it. I like mushrooms, so there's also just a whole bunch of other like stickers and notes and things in there. This is my friend Tyler Nichols' art. Adorable. Yeah, just a whole bunch of just random stickers. This one is from a con maybe 8 years ago, and I have no idea who the artist is because their name was not on the sticker, and I got it so long ago I don't remember who they were. Same with these two. This artist I also don't know the name of. They didn't put their name on their sticker sheets, so I don't know who they are, but I really love this one in particular. This is a cute little 3D mouse. This one, I got a set of 6 Princess Mononoke stickers from Japan in 2017, and I had not put them on anything because they were special and I didn't want to waste them. So I'd kept them for years, and I finally decided to use one of them sort of as a way to motivate myself to actually finish the sketchbook because the sticker was so important to me. I couldn't betray it by not finishing the sketchbook. And it worked. It worked. I finished the sketchbook. Yeah. This is the beginning of the 100 head challenge, which, spoiler, I did not finish. I don't know how many heads are in here, but it's not 100. This was from my boss. She puts funny little notes and stickers and stuff in our check envelopes, and that was one of them. I very quickly decided I did not want to use graphite much in this sketchbook. The paper is not the right paper for it, and I also had always mostly used graphite, and I wanted to switch it so that I could not feel discouraged and practice with other things, which I think was a good idea. I like this one. I don't mind this one. That's the first page. This page I switched to using pencil crayons and felt pens, and this one I drew without a reference, and I was going to cover it and draw something over it, but I decided to leave it so that I could look at the comparison between something I'd just drawn from my head in the beginning to something with a reference, and I do think you can tell the difference. I think these sketches are a lot better, so I'm glad I didn't cover it. just let the progress show. References are extremely helpful. These are some gouache Studio Ghibli steadies. It's gotten kind of, there's some paint from the other side coming up on it, but I really like this one. I like all of them, actually. I'm pretty pleased with this page. I feel like the water could look a little more watery, but that's for practicing in the next sketchbook. More of the 100 Heads challenge. This one, I liked the original sketch quite a bit, but this purple smudged everywhere and I had to sort of redraw it, and I didn't like the second version of it nearly as much. I like this dark purple pen quite a bit. I like the fabric, even though it wasn't fabric, these are drawings of sculptures, but I like the way it looks. I definitely need to do more practice drawing fabric. That'll be also in my next sketchbook. More gouache, Studio Ghibli again. There's parts of this I like. I like this mountain area. I like the path, and I like some of the water reflection and the gradient in the water. The house is not structurally sound. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's okay. And these are supposed to be shadows from the clouds, but I think that the edges kind of make it just sort of look blobby. They don't really follow like the shapes of the hills in the grass. So yeah. Some kingfishers, little round boy, a little too round in my opinion for this bird. They're usually a little longer, but I like the lichen on the stick. I think that looks good. And I do really like this kingfisher. I like the fish quite a bit. I think this is one of my favorite things in this whole sketchbook. More of the 100 Heads challenge using colored, like mechanical pencil lead. Yeah. That's that. I like them just fine. These are those fish or carp, I think carp kites from Japan, and there's an artist whose name I could not find. I found the handle Tiny Moving to Antarctica on Pinterest. I couldn't find any other social medias. Maybe they have some posted now, I don't know. I really liked the way that they drew these kites. This one is basically just pulled directly from their art because I loved the colors that they used, and I also wanted to use the sketchbook to kind of practice picking colors, and I really liked their color composition, so I painted that one, and then the other ones were my own sort of design, but very heavily influenced by their work. Hide that one for a second. There's a story about that one. This one is just with the micron pens. I like it. It's fine. Not very interesting. I really like this page. I think the colors are really beautiful. It's gouache. Yeah, I like that one. That one's good. This one, on the other hand, I decided to pull out my Viva color sheet watercolors, and they're really beautiful. The pigment is lovely and they're very, very vibrant, but they do reactivate, and when you paint on the page and add another layer, they bleed together and they can get really muddy really quickly if you're not sort of careful. Doesn't matter how long you leave it to dry, it will reactivate. So they're a little bit fussy, in my opinion. And that's what happened with this hummingbird. It got very muddy very quickly, and I really, really didn't like it. And I was trying to sort of put layers of other mediums on top of it to fix it, and I don't think I succeeded. So I don't like this hummingbird. This, another one of the calendar days. This was the day that Resident Evil 4 came out, which was very exciting for me because that was the day that my NDA was finally up, and it had been, you know, many years working on that game. So the fact that I could finally talk about it was very, very, very excited. I was very excited. I'd waited years to discuss it. So that's in there, and that's kind of nice. I like having that in there. So I was doing this while that was happening. And now back to this page. This hummingbird, I wanted to make up for the terrible hummingbird I had painted before with a gouache hummingbird, and I do like it quite a bit more. I think I finally figured out how to paint the feathers in a way that I liked once I'd gotten to the head. But that's kind of nice. I can see these ones didn't work as well as those ones, and it's nice to see that I learned something in the middle of painting that. These are cards with photos from different locations, and they came in a box of candy. There's a QR code on the back that takes you to a map of where to find these locations. This was kind of just painting practice using references. Clearly some of the proportions and scale and directions of things are not quite accurate, but it was also just, it's good practice, and they're fine. More of the 100 Heads challenge. This poor boy, I tried to draw him so many times and it just was not my day. It wasn't working, so I just left it. These two are Copic markers. This one is gouache and just a felt for the leaves. This is one of the pages that I did not finish that made me not want to do a sketchbook tour for almost a year. It's fine. I finished the other ones. Maybe I'll finish it one day, I don't know, but I'm fine with it not being done. This is a direct, exact copy of this wing diagram, which I'm sure plenty of people have seen. I wanted to draw it in here because I wanted to learn the structure of bird wings and memorize it, and drawing it out myself was very helpful in doing that, and also having it with me all the time was nice to have. But I take no credit for this. This was purely to study from. It's very useful, but not my creation. This is from a soda. This was from, there was like a prompt years ago where people were making their fantasy characters with, if you have a sibling, give the character a lantern. If you were born in the autumn, give yourself horns, or whatever. That's what this was. And then this was from a reference photo, and I sort of changed it to make her an elf. That's that page. This is mostly just swatches and little doodles with some pens that I'd gotten, and this is a card from my friend, and she got me this beautiful paint, I guess. I'm not sure if it's paint or ink, but it's really beautiful. I love it. And this was the Mousley page. I thought it was a very cute little trend that was going around for a while. This was a mouse that I drew without reference. These ones I did draw with reference. This was gouache. This was at a con that I went to with a bunch of the rest of the Resident Evil 4 cast, and I had maybe 10 minutes to go look at the booths and look at the other artists and stuff, and this person had adorable stickers, and I would have gotten Luis and Leon as well, but they were sold out. So just Ada and Ashley. Very cute. Yeah, that's that page. This is a red page. I like the eyes. Shoes from Kiki's delivery service. I think this was in a package of masks. And I stole a few pencil crayons from my 10-year-old sister. I didn't actually have any of my own at the time, and I borrowed these kind of neon-y pastel pencil crayons and drew some dogs. And some pigeons. I really love pigeons. I think pigeons are so sweet, and they do not deserve the hatred they get. They're domesticated birds. They're lovely and affectionate, and they sound pretty. Their feathers are beautiful. Stop the pigeon hate. Pigeons are wonderful. This is one of my favorite pens. It's the Sarasa Nano. Is that it? Sarasa Nano? I think so. And this is the sort of dusty rose color. I really, really like drawing architecture, buildings with it. It's one of my favorite sketches in the whole sketchbook. I think it was really relaxing to draw. I spent a decent amount of time on it. I kept going back to it and adding details and stuff. This is a nudie rank. This is a sticker from a paycheck. This page is a little bit of chaos. I liked a few of the things on it, and then I just kind of got carried away, and I kept trying to add things to fix it, and it didn't really work. So I like the shoes. I like this fish. I like the beetle. I like her. It's a little bit of a mess, but you know. I do like the sparkly spider web and the terrifying poodles. This, many years ago, my mom drew graphite, like a big, it was maybe this, like the skull itself was this big, but a sketch of a wolf skull, and I loved it. I don't know where it is. If I knew where it was, it would be on my wall, but I wanted to draw a skull as well, so this is a dog skull. I quite like it. It's a decent page. Some more of the architecture sketches. I really wanted to practice. I started with using a ruler on the lattice, and I ended up really disliking the lattice and wanting to practice drawing straight lines with no ruler. So the rest of it I didn't use a ruler for. A cassowary and a little goldfish and a sticker from my boss. And this is where I decided to bring graphite back and see if I had improved with it at all. And I genuinely do think that this is better than the first sketches. I think the graphite, like these are, I think they're kind of smudgy and messy. I do think that's an improvement. So I'm pleased with that. And then there's some figure studies that you can't really see very well. And they're okay, but they're a little stiff. I think my next sketchbook, I'm going to focus a lot more on figure studies and architecture and just more practice. Like, I think for this one I did a lot of, oh, I like this image, I think it's interesting, I'll draw that, but I think more figure studies would be helpful. Loop Snoot. I think a lot of people draw Loop Snoot. That marker that my friend got me again. I like these shoes. This is done with the same pen, that same pink pen, but in a brown. I really like those pens. This is the other page that was not finished that made me put off making a sketchbook tour. I went out for a day with my partner and I asked him to take pictures, and then I would paint the pictures, and these are the pictures that he took and the paintings I did of them, except for these two, which I clearly did not finish. This is my friend's cat, Batman, being a bad boy and eating a mail slip. He is a little troublemaker and I adore him, even though I've never met him in person, but I still love him with my whole heart. He's a good bad boy. Another cat. This is my least favorite page in the whole sketchbook. I initially wanted to draw this girl because I really liked her makeup. I thought it was really interesting and pretty colors, and it just didn't translate well. And I was watching a video on, I tried again. I tried to like paint her and I didn't like it again. And I watched a video on how to choose portraits to paint, and someone, I can't remember who, brought up the fact that if someone's photo is very, like, super brightly lit, it's not the greatest reference because there are no shadows on the person's face. And this was a makeup photo, so there was very little shadows. The photo was obviously made to accentuate the makeup and not the person's face. So there were no, it was very flat. There was not a lot of depth to her face because that was not the focus. So it was hard to paint because almost all of her skin was exactly the same tone. So that was helpful to learn, and now in the future, if I'm trying to paint portraits, I will definitely try to choose portraits with more shadows so that I can add different layers of shading. And this is the last page. I love maned wolves. I think they're so beautiful and they sound interesting. And some regular wolves and another building in my favorite pink pen. And that's the completed sketchbook. 99.8% completed sketchbook because of those 2 pages. And I can't believe I put off making a sketchbook tour because of those 2 pages for a year. But it is what it is, and I did it now, so I can focus on my next sketchbook and fill that one as well. I should probably put another Princess Mononoke sticker in it so that I actually finish it. But yeah, this is the first sketchbook I've ever actually completed entirely since I was a child. I have some sketchbooks from when I was maybe 7, and those are completed, but that's, you know, that's then, and this is now. But I did it again, finally, after 20 plus years. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. Bye.